Hi, everybody. It's Abby, and you're listening to That Thing We Do, a podcast for all you 20, 30 somethings out there in need of an OMG yes moment in your life. Each week, we talk about media, milestones, or moments, and we've got you covered in all areas that are fun and interesting. Let's get to it. Today, we're talking about public transit, particularly in the Canadian region that we live, that we're from. And joining me for this episode is my great friend from the weekend crew, Ginette. Welcome back. Thanks for popping in. I know that you were a little shy at the beginning, but I'm so happy you want to come back for a round two of crazy topics. How are you doing today?
I am good, enjoying the nice weather here in Waterloo.
Yes. What's the weather like right now? The temperature?
Apparently, it's 22 degrees outside.
I'm glad that it's warm there. I think over here in Ottawa it's 24, I think. So we're just a little bit on the warmer end, but I think there's rain coming.
Yep, same here.
Yes. Let the rain fall.
April showers.
Bring the May flowers. All right. So I guess to start off, Jeanette, are you a transit rider or are you occasional? Are you never? What is your position or status on public transit?
Currently, I am a never, unless that's a lie. In Toronto, pre-COVID, I did take the transit to get
Uh-huh.
from Scarborough to downtown Toronto, or
Mm.
yeah, that's usually the only reason I take transit because I refuse to drive downtown Toronto.
Oh my god, for anyone who has never been to Toronto or has never understood how we travel as commuters in that city, Jeanette is 100% correct. You typically want to take transit just because driving on the highway is so fucked that it's just faster and it's just easier to take public transit. So,
And parking is a nightmare. I can't parallel park anymore.
oh no.
I I took my G, I did it, don't remember how to do it anymore.
Oh, so you never parallel parked since
I
then?
never parallel parked since then.
Oh my god. Wow. RIP to the parallel parking skills.
But also parking garages downtown Toronto, they're so tight.
Yep.
I was like, no.
Yep.
And too expensive too.
Yeah, what was the rate? Because I've never driven or parked downtown, so
It was like I have let's say $20 for the whole day. Probably that's probably more at this point.
oh my god. Yeah, you're right. It's probably more
I think they cap it at like $20 or $30.
per hour?
Oh no, for like the day. So it's like $2 per hour until like that you hit a cap.
Oh, okay.
I'm just like, no, no, thank you.
That's nuts. Yeah, every day, especially if you work downtown. Oh my god. It's $100 a week, give or take. Whew. Oh my god. So yeah, that is why I guess going back to the idea of public transit being not necessarily a staple, but could be considered a necessity, especially in the metropolitan area like that.
I don't even know how it is in Ottawa. Actually, I only took the public transit like once in Ottawa for Canada Day.
Yes, Canada Day. Yeah, that's like the only reason you come to the capital. I mean, for me, Ottawa is a very mixed, or hybrid way of travel because it's not very commuter congested, but it's also just not people driving because everything's pretty close. So I would say typically, I don't drive personally because I don't have a car here, but I would if I did. And I think that the transit's pretty good. I wouldn't say it's great, but I think it is definitely better than Toronto's system.
It's also a smaller metropolitan area too.
Yes, factoring that in, it is very, very tiny. I feel like I can get from downtown core all the way out to the subs in like half an hour,
Oh,
and
that's awesome.
yeah, and that or like give or take 45 minutes, and that for them or that for a lot of people from Ottawa are like, "Oh my god, this is stressful." Meanwhile, I'm sitting there like, this is a waiting time average typically for Torontonians.
Oh, yeah.
What about you in the Kitchener Waterloo area, Jeanette? Tell the people. They want to know.
So the KW region has buses and an LRT now. I've never rode on the LRT. That happened after I graduated.
Oh.
But basically, around the universities, around Waterloo and Laurier and Conestoga, the bus system around there is pretty great. There's a lot of routes and there's a lot of buses during rush hour.
Mm.
But out in the boonies, it starts to peter off, which is why I now have a car to drive to
Mm.
work.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because, like, what is your typical, I guess, time when if you weren't driving to work, how long would it take you by bus to get to?
It would take me an hour and a half to get there, and I'd have to take 3 different buses.
Oh my God. Three for just 30 minutes?
No, an hour and a half.
An hour? Oh, sorry, my brain stopped. Ah, holy crap.
And I would have to walk 22 minutes to get to my bus,
Whoa.
22 minutes to get to my first bus, and then 5 minutes to my second bus. So that's not bad. So, like half an hour of walking, I
Mm.
guess, and 1 hour of actual bus time.
Okay, okay. You know what? That's not even like completely different from because when I lived in Mississauga in the GTA, if no one knows, that was about the same time. Everything that you said, half an hour of walking, and then up to an hour of actual transit riding. So that's crazy.
And for reference, too, if I were to drive from Waterloo to Toronto, it would take me an hour and 20 minutes.
Wow. Yeah, that's see, yeah, so that just proves it. It's like or that just shows you driving between cities takes as long as it does just to get to work.
If I were to take the bus, yeah.
Holy shit. This is how messed up or how like congested and convoluted our bus systems are and also just how we don't really factor in distance unless we actually own cars or have some other means of transportation because like I know for my dad at least he doesn't understand the concept of buses and he thinks that they all take just as fast as like taking a car
Yeah.
and yeah, and me and my mom were like, "No, like you've never sat on a bus physically, like from going from the east to the west end. You would not. You can't say that."
Oh, yeah. My dad is the same. He just wants to drive everywhere.
Yes, and then have that. What is it? 580 a.m. news or something or 680.
680 or 98.1.
90. Yes, 98. But soft. What is it? Soft
Soft
rock.
rock.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, I love that. That's the numbers we've grown up with. um Comparing that yeah to the Waterloo like the KW region, the greater Ottawa area and the GTA, it just shows you how I guess what am I trying to say here?
Transit sucks, but it's essential, basically.
Yeah, yeah, especially when you have no other means. And shout out to the people that go every single day that have no choice and they have to ride the bus.
And also in Ottawa in the winter, waiting outside, walking around for 30 minutes in what, minus 20-degree weather?
Mm-hmm.
Oof.
I have never had the need nor the want to invest in a very like those big down jackets filled with goose feathers or something that everyone wants.
The Canada Goose ones.
Yeah, the Canada Goose ones. I didn't really need it per se, and then I needed it when I came here solely because of the wait times that you're or the walking, yeah, between buses. So I appreciate it now. Oh my god. Okay, so yeah, let's talk about the transit stories for riding within the cities of these particular regions that we've talked about. Jeanette, would you like to start or tell the people what makes transit fun? And say that sarcastically.
Oh, the one thing I actually really like about transit compared to driving is like during co-ops, I would have to make the hour and a half, 45-minute trek to the downtown core where my co-op placement was. I
Hmm.
was able to sleep on the way there and on the way back if I were so lucky to get a seat
Oh my god.
because
Yes.
I would have to wake up at 5:30 or 6, get a ride with my parents to a station and then jump on the subway and that would be like a 45-minute ride to my stop. So that's pretty good. But also listening to podcasts.
Mm,
Podcast is pretty great.
yeah, definitely. I feel like I'm the same in the sense that riding the bus for long periods of time, there's something, I wouldn't say magical, but having that time to listen to something.
Turn your brain off.
Yes, because you can't do that when you're driving. If you do
No.
that, you're dead. So it's really nice that, yeah, you can use public transit as a way to really check out, or is it check in? I'm not really sure.
I think my brain definitely checks out when I'm on public transit because I also don't want to pay attention to the people around me per se. I kind of want to just be in my own space and not make eye contact with anyone. That's why those advertisements are up top, so you don't have to look at people's faces.
Oh my God, you're smart. I forgot. I completely forgot about that from a marketing perspective.
Mhm.
It's genius. You know what? It must be a shared thing too that people just inherently know. You know that thing we do where everybody just sits in silence in the bus and nobody talks?
Yep.
It's because we all know like this is a sacred moment. We're all about to go off and do things that we don't like or things that we're dreading for the rest of the day. So having that slice of peace.
Oh yeah. I don't know. When you're taking transit now in Ottawa, is there a lot of people?
You mean
Or
right
it
now
depends.
during
Yeah, during the pandemic.
I would say yes because I just feel like a lot of people in Ottawa are they live very active lifestyles.
Huh,
So even when it's cold, people are outside walking their dogs, jogging,
right.
enjoying fresh air. And I just feel like people here just don't want to be in the house.
Hmm.
So I don't know if they're necessarily going to work or if they're going to visit people, but there's just always people on the bus. It's never empty.
Ah, okay.
But you know what? To be fair, though, I will say I live literally,
In the core.
yeah, in the core. So it would make sense that I just see people all the time. It might be a different story for people living all the way out in, for example, where does my friend live? Oh my God, I can't remember. I've been living here for like almost 3 years and I can't remember. But yeah, you're right. It's a very populated transit pull where I am situated. So
Because I'm just thinking of flashbacks to back to co-op days, taking the subway. I would get on at the first station, so it was completely empty. But by the time I got to where I needed to go, it was like super full. And now I'm just like, does that still happen in the pandemic? Because then people are in my
Mm.
personal bubble, and I don't know how I would deal with that.
Mhm. Oh, I know. Because then you're it's, like, heightened now. Because 'cause you're, like, not only do you not like people being near you in general, but now you have to worry about them being sick and being near you, and you're like,
Yeah, that's why I was asking how crowded the buses were in Ottawa. Like, are people like standing like super close to you, or is everyone trying to spread out?
I would say that, uh
Or do bus drivers just not let you in if it's too full?
right, and although I haven't seen that often, not like in Toronto. People in Toronto are very, like, or the bus drivers are very assertive. They're like, "Nope, you can't get on." Here, I think I've seen that once, and that happened almost a year and a half ago. So I think they just generally let people on. But here's the thing. I've also noticed the demographic is way different. Here, I feel like there's more elderly people
Hmm.
that get on the bus. So,
You
um,
don't want to leave them out in
yes,
the cold or the too hot.
exactly. Yeah, in the too hot. Yes, I think that's what it is. And also, I've ridden on so many different kinds of buses, and Ottawa's or like the OC Transpo here, it's designed slightly like smaller. So I feel like the
The aisle?
oh yeah, thank you. Why did that word for like leave my brain? The aisle is pretty small compared to Toronto, Mississauga, and
Oh,
like the
okay.
Waterloo buses. And I feel like a lot of people end up standing, or it just feels like it's crowded because people are standing, and you're like, I can't get around you, and or I'm afraid to go around you, so I'm just gonna stand over here. Yeah.
I see.
What about the Waterloo and the Kitchener buses? Are they more Wait, you haven't ridden a bus yet though since the
I
pandemic started.
haven't ridden a bus yet. Yeah, that's true. Have I ridden a bus? Not even in Toronto, I don't think. But yeah, well, I live out in the boonies, so the buses that I see are pretty empty or there's just one or two people on there. I
Oh.
think I'm at like the end of the line for most bus routes. but I'm pretty sure if I go back to like the core of Waterloo where the universities are and stuff there, I probably would see a lot
Mm,
of people on the bus. But also Waterloo is pretty walkable, I would say, or a lot of
right.
students have buses that have bikes too.
Right. And I do remember that from when I visited with Jomi and when I saw you before. Yeah, I think that's the benefit over there.
Yep,
Wait, can we for a second just talk about like what's your favorite bus? I know this is gonna sound really weird, but like,
bus.
do you have a bus that has like a good aesthetic for you that you're like, wow, like I like riding this one compared to like TTC? Because I feel like a lot of people would be like,
I like the new TTC buses.
oh, the electric ones
Uh,
or
I
the
think so.
ones I think okay. You know what? Yeah,
I also
I
like
agree.
the Waterloo ones. They're pretty swanky. They're blue instead of the bright red of the
Yeah,
TTC
that
ones.
hideous, like maroonish, reddish, brownish. Yes, I agree. I think similar to the Waterloo buses, I like Mississaugas. They have really nice designs for their seats. It's very open. Like they don't have that many constricting. The way they've built their seats, it's very like built into the bus, not just sticking out. And they have trash bins at the front, so like when people are eating, I've seen people just like put their bananas or their coffee cups in there, and I'm like, why does TTC not have this? Or like, why do not other?
I think the Waterloo buses have that too.
And I
It's
think
pretty
Ottawa
great,
does, right? It's so convenient. I'm just like,
other than having it strewn all over the floors.
oh my god, that's something. Yeah, oh my god, that's something too, right? When you're going on the bus and you're finding a good seat, and then you find garbage either on the seat or at the bottom where your feet are supposed to go, and you're like,
Well, I can't sit there now.
yeah. Just I remember when I was in uni or like in undergrad. I mean, I remember being so tired after coming home from class, and I there was only one seat open and it had like a whole bunch of pizza stuff and
Ew.
coffee like at the bottom, not on the seat, but I was so tired and I didn't want to stand. I just dealt with it. I just shimmied my way. I sat there and I put my feet kind of on the side. But that's like
Ugh.
what you have to live with in like really more sketchier areas of Toronto. It just feels like I find a lot of more I wouldn't say disrespect towards buses and how they're treated, but it just feels kind of like it is. And it's sad.
Yeah, it sucks. So let's get into talking about transit between cities
Ooh,
because
yes.
Abby and my parents both live in the GTA. I currently live and have lived in Waterloo. Oh god, for like 11 years now. That seems like forever.
I know.
And Abby, as you know, lives in Ottawa.
Does this also include like the bigger companies or transit
Yeah,
systems? Okay.
like the GO train, Greyhound. What's the train? I don't the Via Rail?
Oh yeah, Via Rail. That's my go-to. So like what was the one that you use the most?
So in undergrad, or the first couple of years of undergrad, I took something called the Watt bus, I think it was called.
What the hell?
Yeah.
Okay. I was like I was not prepared for this.
So the Watt bus was like a school bus that they chartered from Waterloo to different spots in the GTA.
What?
So it was included in our fees, in our student fees. It was organized by our student government. It was what, like $20 to get to and from Toronto,
What?
which is pretty great. So they picked us up in on campus in front of like one of the libraries, and
Okay.
then I would get dropped off at like Scarborough Town Center, which is pretty close to where my parents live.
Oh my god, that's so lucky.
Depends. It was cheap, and yeah, it was cheap, which was good, but also it got very crowded.
Mm.
Um, no air conditioning in the summer
Oh my
because it's a
god.
school bus, and people didn't like you opening up the windows on the highway because
Yeah.
too much wind, and
Yeah.
you're technically only allowed like your backpack or whatever you can fit under the seat.
Oh,
But
okay.
some people went crazy and brought like crap tons of stuff, and they would just be all over the aisles, and you're just like, really?
No.
But yeah,
Okay.
that was the first couple of years of undergrad, I think.
Budget
Uh,
life. I literally Googled the image. It's so cute. It's exactly what I expected of this kind of transportation.
yep, just school bus. It was great. Oh, and they would leave at the worst times. They would leave at like 3 p.m. on Friday from Waterloo to drive to Toronto, and just imagine how long that bus ride was.
Oh my god, you're right. I didn't even think. Oh my god, being in a hot bus in traffic and that's not moving, and you're like, please, for the love of God.
And you don't know who's going to sit next to you. So it
Yes.
could be someone like super nice. I never talked to anyone on the bus. I just put on my headphones and sleep.
Smart. Smart.
But it could also be like, undergrad guys that don't really shower or wear deodorant either. You're just like, cool. But anyways, so that was my first couple of years of undergrad. Then sometimes I took the Greyhound
Uh-huh.
to downtown Toronto, if that's where I was meeting people.
Mm.
That was pretty good. You take the Greyhound sometimes, right?
Yeah, I have. I will say that I did not take it as my primary mode of
Mhm.
transportation when I was first coming to and from Ottawa, just because I'm a little bit more bougie and I wanted to ride the train because it's a little bit faster.
That's so much faster.
But once I did try the Greyhound a couple times, and then going with my ex to Montreal and going back and forth to Toronto, it was actually it grew on me, and I was like, you know what, I like this.
That's good.
Except for the traffic part. Yeah, not and me not anticipating rush hour times
Mhm.
before when I first did it. You're so right. Like once you realize what time it's leaving, you're like, "Oh my god, no."
Plan around this, not the take the next one.
Yeah. Or just like take the L, and if you have to like, waste a whole day but you leave earlier
Mhm.
or you leave a day later but you save yourself that headache, like yeah, it's just
Worth it.
yep, yep. The Greyhound is very interesting too. The type of people you don't know who you're gonna get to sometimes. And
Didn't someone get murdered on a Greyhound? Like in
what?
in Canada? I think that was a thing. With the like someone got choked out. Do you remember that? Am I going crazy?
No?
Okay, I need to look this up now.
What the shit?
Oh yeah, stabbed, beheaded, and cannibalized while riding a Greyhound.
Oh my god.
Oh, in 2011. I'm not crazy.
That's terrifying.
I think that's also why I didn't want to ride the Greyhound. I
Yeah.
was like, ah.
Yep. If I'm riding, especially by myself, and I notice that there's like, when you're going in the line
Yep.
and like you can see who's there or whatever, I will assess, okay, if there's this obviously again, this is a girl issue or like a woman's issue, but like seeing the amount of like the ratio of guys to girls and being like, is this gonna be safe for me or is this gonna be like a potential issue? Then I'll sit closer to the driver in the front, even if I know like I'm not gonna get maybe the quiet or like the peace that comes from sitting in the back. But it is something to think about. Yeah, when you're thinking about situations like this that I didn't even know happened, and apparently it did.
Yep. Safety during public transit. I have stories.
Oh my god, yes. Can we talk about that?
Oh yeah. Just drunk people on transit starting fights. You're just like,
Yep.
hmm, that's interesting.
Yeah, you're like, thanks for like for this.
Yeah.
Ooh, or when people think they have great music and then they just play it on speaker, and you're like, thank you for ruining the ride.
I think we're also the annoying people when we're on the bus with the rest of our friends, though.
Yep. Oh
Yep.
yeah, that too. Because you're excited, you're going on a trip together, you're building memories.
Too loud.
Oh, I should tell you this story. So I think it was first year of uni, and I was just taking the bus to Scarborough Town because I had to buy something for my mom. And there was a group of teenagers at the very front of the TTC. I was sitting all the way in the back, mind you, but these girls were so loud. And this girl literally was like yelling to her friend talking on the other seat. Like they're just talking random shit. And then she blurted out her phone number because I guess her friend was like, "Wait, I need to send you something. What's your number again?" And then she was like, "Oh, it's 416, blah, 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 blah." I was so mad and pissed because of like how annoying they were. I literally remembered the number and I texted her from my phone and I was like, "You should not say your number out loud. Imagine who will get." I forgot what I said, but it was basically like something petty and also like a warning. Don't do this.
Some random person could have gotten your number and started creeping on you.
Exactly. And I didn't look. I didn't like try to make eye contact with her and being like, "It was me." But like, I just noticed that they all like, or like she completely quieted down because she probably was like, "Fuck." Like,
Good job.
thank
You
you.
scared a girl.
Protecting the young people by scaring the young people. Wait, you didn't mention any of your stories or like experiences with Greyhound or the Go Bus.
Go bus I never really took unless I went to visit people in Mississauga. It's
Oh.
really dumb, but the Go bus doesn't go straight from Toronto to it has to stop in Square One for some reason, and then it comes to Waterloo. I don't know why. It would be great if they did a straight shot, but they don't.
Right. Yeah, there's no express from east to Waterloo. It's just like east west and then Waterloo. It's
Mm,
just like thanks guys.
thanks.
Oh my god. And remember when I first came to visit you and then because of my first Go Bus experience and it was that guy that I had to sit next to on the bus.
Oh yeah, and then he added you on Facebook.
Yeah, and then he asked me for my number, and me being the dumb 19-year-old or whatever that I was, and I was like, okay, because I'm making a new friend, did not click that.
He wanted your number.
I know. And then I was like, and then remember the whole like 2 days I was there, I was like, wait, how do I get out of this?
It was a strange night.
It was a fun memory though. That whole weekend was a memory. Thank you. And thank you to the Go Bus that got me there to have the blessed weekend that it was. Do trains count? No. I don't want to talk about trains.
Trains count, I think. We don't have to talk about trains.
Yeah, they're expensive, they're long, and although to be like very nostalgic, when I did have my first like full-time job after uni and we were living in Mississauga, taking the Go Bus was the best way to get to downtown Toronto.
So nice.
Yeah. Oh, and then the feeling of everybody and this is another point of conversation that I think is cool is the type of people that are with you on the bus also dictates what your experience will be like. So if it's
Hmm.
like other people that are students, then you're like, oh yeah, I'm relaxed and everybody's taking a nap. Great. Pass out too. And then for like riding the go train to downtown Toronto for work, it was like everybody's in business suits, people are reading, people are listening to podcasts, everyone's silent. And then as soon as they get to, the downtown core, everyone just stands up and they're like ready to go. It was so cool. It was just like we're all working professionals, we're helping the economy, and then you ride the TTC and you're just like, what is life?
Oh, the in the last couple of years of undergrad and into grad school, I didn't have a car still at that point. So I did the carpooling thing I was talking to you
Oh.
about.
Mm-hmm.
So in the Waterloo area, or specifically for the university students at Waterloo, Laurier, Conestoga, there was this Facebook group where drivers could post, "Hey, I'm driving from like the 7-Eleven to Scarborough Town Center Friday at like 3 o'clock. It's $20 per seat. Message me if you want a seat," kind of thing. So that's how you would find a ride.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I did that for a couple of years at least. First, I was super sketched out by it.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, what were your thoughts at the beginning and what made you change?
Yeah, it was pretty sketchy in the beginning. Or I was sketched out by. I'm like, I don't want to drive in someone else's car. What if I get murdered?
Mm.
Like, oh, not my story, but my friend's story. They were in this carpool. So my friend and his girlfriend, who I'm also friends with, they
Mhm.
got in this car. They were driving on the highway. This was their first time ever doing this carpool thing. The girl got into a car crash because she wasn't paying attention. And that like scared me off even more. I Like,
Oh my
oh my
god.
god.
Yeah, because you're like, "Oh, this person nearly killed us. Oh my god."
Like, okay, no, thank you.
Were they okay? Like, so what was the damage?
They were fine. I don't know if the car was fine. They're still alive,
Okay,
which is
good.
good. But my other roommate like lived and died by this thing, and he never got murdered. But also, he's a he, so
Mm.
maybe that plays a factor in it.
Yeah,
But
maybe.
I was so over doing the Watt bus thing. I was just like,
Mm.
okay, I'll give this a try. And I did
Yeah,
that for a couple of years and I'm still alive today. So it's pretty great.
that's good. And, like, what's the etiquette, like, when you're in those kind of carpools? Do you have to talk to the person or,
Uh
like
Depends on the driver. Usually it's oh, we're just traveling together, we're not talking.
oh, okay.
So usually just pop in your headphones and you're like good to go.
That's cool. I would oh, okay. That sounds more appealing to me now.
The only bad thing is you don't know if they're a good driver. I get car sick very easily.
Ah.
There were a couple times where I was like, I'm going to throw up in this guy's car.
Oh my god.
Oh shit.
Jeanette.
Because
Oh,
you
no.
know those people that tap the brakes, right?
Yes. Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And some people don't know that or they don't feel like even other passengers, they're like, "I don't know what you're talking about."
Yeah, that. So I was like, it was a hit or miss for like drivers, but usually
Oof.
the ones that I got, I was pretty lucky,
That's good.
so it was okay.
Ooh. I'm also not good with, like, people that kinda swerve a little bit
Hmm.
all the
Hmm.
time. Oh god.
Ugh,
Would you still carpool if, for example, you were in another country and you were just visiting?
no, heck no.
I've seen some brave souls. They're just like,
Like hitchhikers? No,
kinda, but there's also, like, weird Facebook groups that are kind of like that for tourists and locals, and they're like, "Hey, like, I have a car.
right.
Great, pick me up."
Wait, circle back. Ottawa to Toronto. Toronto. Did we talk about that already? Oh, I guess you said you Greyhound and train.
Yeah, I don't really have any stories. I guess what is the distance between Kitchener to Waterloo again? Or Kitchener Waterloo area to Toronto? Toronto.
Toronto. Let's see. It's 120 kilometers.
I don't know what that means in time.
And it would take me an hour, and it usually takes me an hour and 20 minutes to get home.
What?
Because I think it used to take me, I think driving from Toronto to Ottawa is like 4 hours, depending on where you are in Toronto.
Yeah, that's true. Like if you're just hitting Scarborough, then it's probably 4.
Yep.
But because my parents live on the West End, it's like an extra 30 to 45 minutes depending on traffic.
Hmm.
So, yeah. But you're right. I would say because it's such a long trek, the worst part for me is not even hitting Kingston or not even leaving Kingston yet and realizing that 3.5 hours have passed and we're still like in Kingston. And I'm like,
Why?
where it's so awful. And that's kind of where the trip just kind of goes out of my mind. And I feel like
You go stir crazy.
I do. And I think that's why I kind of don't mind sacrificing just a little bit more money to like get on the train.
Because you can walk around.
Exactly. There's more space, you have nicer windows, you can actually sit or have more room to breathe.
Yep.
And as opposed to just being in the Greyhound, you're stuck in like one seat. And if you have to pee, no one ever wants to pee on one of those buses because that toilet in the back, I at least with the Via, it's like it almost looks like an airplane
Yeah.
washroom, sorry. So
I think one time I had to use that Greyhound washroom, unfortunately.
no, R.I.P.
To Ottawa. I'm pretty sure it was to Ottawa.
Oh my god.
But yeah, the first time I did the Toronto to Ottawa trek on the Greyhound, I'm like, why are we getting off the 401? Why are we heading north? Why the heck are we stopping at this pit stop in the middle of
Right?
nowhere? Like, where did I get on the wrong bus? What is happening?
That was literally me when I took it for the first time. And I was like, where are we?
Because I go up on highway whatever
Mm-hmm.
to the middle of nowhere, and they're just like, yep, okay, everyone get off the bus now. I'm like, where the f are we?
Yeah, and I think my phone was dying
Oh no.
because I didn't charge it. So when he was like, "You have 30 minutes," and I had to make the hard decision of, do I pee and waste time not charging my phone, or do I have to charge my phone and hold my pee? I don't remember what I chose. I think I chose to hold my pee.
Don't they have charging ports on the buses now?
It depends on the age of the bus because
Okay.
Greyhound is so cheap that you can end up with an old, and I remember that because sometimes me and my ex we would be like, please let's get a new bus, please, 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 because you don't know what you're gonna get. So you're just like, are our phones charged? Are we ready to go? And then we end up getting an old bus and we're like, no, it doesn't have those ports or they don't work.
Yeah.
Yeah, Greyhound, fun. What do you hope for the future of public transit? I guess whether it's within the cities or between cities. Is there like a particular wish or something that you're just like, or do you just not care because now you're a car person?
Oh yeah. I don't know if I already said this, but now I have a car and I drive everywhere and it's amazing. I don't know if I could go back to that unless I lived in like a downtown core.
I hear you.
But future for public transit, I hope it becomes more affordable for people. I know, like, I think in Toronto and in Waterloo, all the fares keep going up to support the construction and infrastructure being built, which makes sense,
Yeah, fair.
which is fair. But yeah, I just really wish that our intercity public transit was better, like what they have in Europe.
Yes, 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 yes.
Like when I went to Italy, we were able to just travel between like Venice and Florence and like just on the train. It would take us a couple hours to get there, but we didn't have to rent a car, which is pretty amazing.
Oh my god. That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely didn't have a car there. It was pretty great.
That's amazing.
Yeah. It was cheap-ish. It was less expensive than renting a car and having
Mm.
to do that and trying to drive in a foreign country.
Oh my god. Oh yeah. That's just too much stress on top of stress. I feel like you would be probably more inclined to driving after you've gone there a couple times and you've seen the route, or
Potentially.
maybe I don't know. I can see you and your significant other like going there.
Yeah. So we did go to Costa Rica 2019
I love those pictures.
and we did rent a car and it was good. It wasn't terrible.
Okay.
We didn't go into the many busy cities. It was mostly country driving, which is pretty nice.
Ah.
It was pretty good. How about you? What are your hopes and dreams for
Oh.
public transit?
I guess similar to you, it's just I mean, we're not as bad as the US, but we could be
Better.
more like our European partners, yeah, and just have a better system. Especially because they keep promising that we will.
Yeah.
So it's like deliver on it. Otherwise,
Stop talking about it.
yeah. Like for example, you and I had the same experience with we both graduated from undergrad and then the LRTs were built. Like what was that? Like
I still haven't ridden in it yet, and it looks beautiful.
oh my god, it's just right? And it's like those kinds of things. It's like if you're going to say it, do it. And we understand that it's going to take a lot of money and infrastructure,
And time.
yeah, and time. So don't worry about it, but like kind of hurry up.
Yep.
And I guess a little thing would be maybe I don't know. This sounds very millennial of me, but it's like can you have can you have charging ports?
Like update your cars. Have Wi-Fi on your buses and everything.
Yes. You know what? I actually heard that the Mississauga transit system was trying to get that rolled out, but I don't know if it actually is still in the process or if they just, dismantled it. But I was like, whoa, Wi-Fi? I will move to Mississauga just to like,
I think on the Toronto subway they have Wi-Fi, right?
yes, they have TELUS, not on the subways themselves, but in the subway stations.
Pretty good.
Yeah, I remember like texting and playing music, and then it would drop for maybe 5 seconds between the stations, and then it would come back, and I'd be like, yes.
Yay.
So that would be good. So for anybody who's listening and you like, have felt these particular stories, you know, touch your soul in some way, whether you are a transit rider or a car, a newly minted or soon to be. I don't know what I'm trying to say with cars, car people. I'm pretty sure that, yeah, we've all had similar experiences, and we would love to hear from you guys what you might have gone through, or if you've gone through similar things.
Unless you're our dads.
Yeah, Dad, if you're listening, please ride the bus before you have an opinion about it. I love you, but no. And let us know if you have any suggestions or questions for us or other guests on the channel. So that's all for today. Thanks so much, you guys, for listening. I have been your host, Abby.
And Ginette.
And you're listening to That Thing We Do. So until next time, you do you.
Bye bye.
Bye.